Hello, boys and girls. It's Papa Henry here, and his little helper Jake. How you doing, Bubba? Today, I'm going to read you the story of Frosty the Snowman. I hope y'all have been good. And here we go. It all started with the snow, the first snow of the season. As every child knows, there's a certain magic in the first snow. When it falls the day before Christmas, something wonderful really happens. Now we're in the school. Children, children, back to your seat, called the teacher. The snow can wait. I have hired Professor Hinkle, the magician, to entertain us for our Christmas party. Unfortunately, Professor Hinkle was just one of the worst magicians in the world. So he put his eggs into a magic hat and he said, "Abracadabra!" And voila, the eggs turned into a mess. Hocus pocus, where are you? And all of a sudden, a rabbit appeared. Obviously, that was the rabbit's name, Hocus Pocus. I didn't know that till this very second. Oh, and there's the rabbit. The only thing this hat is good for is the trash can, said Professor Hinkle. But the hat didn't stay in the trash can for long. The hat with Hocus Pocus underneath it, that's the rabbit, remember, that's the little bunny, hopped onto the floor and went out of the schoolyard. Well, the children were free for the whole Christmas holiday. How long is that nowadays? I think back when we were in school it was only the week, but I bet y'all get 2 weeks. But that's all right. Hey, look at the snow, cried the children. They ran outside and they started building a snowman, the first one of the season. They gave him eyes, a nose, and they decided to name him. I bet you can say what they decided to name him. What they name him. That's right, Frosty. The children danced around Frosty as they sang and played with him. Come back here, cried Professor Hinkle in the background, chasing Hocus Pocus and the hat. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew the hat onto Frosty's head. And there it is right there. You see, it's coming onto his head. Happy birthday, said Frosty. Everybody gasped. The hat brought Frosty to life. But we already knew this part, right? We're not jumping the gun. When the professor heard that, he wanted the hat back. This hat will make me a millionaire, he said. Hocus Pocus, the rabbit, felt that the hat belonged to Frosty. So he hopped it back onto Frosty. And the children ran as fast as they could to return the magic hat. And once again, the hat landed on Frosty and... Happy birthday, said Frosty. Hey, I said my first words. I'm alive. What a neat thing to happen to a nice guy like me. I think Frosty's a little conceited myself, but that's okay. It's Frosty. He has to be a nice guy. The magic hat made Frosty dance around, and the children cheered as Frosty began to laugh and play with them. There's never been such a wonderful winter day. When the sun peeked out behind the clouds, Frosty said, I'm getting all wishy-washy. I'm starting to melt. The children knew they needed to take Frosty someplace where he'd never melt, like the North Pole. They decided to get on the railroad station and find a train for Frosty. Let's have a parade through town, said Frosty. Come on, kids, follow the leader. And there they go, following the leader. Alright, my animation's not that great, but it's okay. All too soon they found the train, and Frosty had to leave. "I'll go with you," said Karen. That's the little girl. And it looks like Hocus Pocus went with them too. That's the rabbit. They hopped the train, but no one saw Professor Hinkle sneak under the train. Uh-oh. They found a refrigerator car, but it was really too cold for Karen, so they decided to jump off. Frosty took Karen and Hocus Pocus to the wooden glen where they found animals decorating trees for their big celebration. They knew Santa Claus was coming that night. They agreed to build a campfire to keep Karen warm. That was nice. That was really nice of them. But it didn't take long for Professor Hinkle to catch up with them. Uh-oh. "Get on my shoulders, Karen," cried Frosty. "Well, what about Hocus Pocus?" "Oh, okay." "Get on my shoulders, Karen," cried Frosty. Hocus jumped on also. They slid down the snow as fast as they could on Frosty's big belly, leaving greedy Professor Hinkle far behind. They still had to get Karen to somewhere warm. They found a greenhouse that was growing tropical poinsettias. It was the perfect place for Karen to stay warm. "Frosty, you'll melt in here," said Karen. "I'll only stay inside for a minute," Frosty said. But nasty Professor Hinkle caught up to them, and he locked the door, trapping Frosty and the friends inside. Oh no, what's going to happen to Frosty? He's going to melt! That night, Hocus Pocus found Santa and led them to the greenhouse. Frosty had already melted completely. "Don't cry, Karen," said Santa. "Frosty's not gone for good. You see, he was made of Christmas snow. You can bet your boots that when good old jolly December wind kisses, it'll turn the snow all over again. Watch." Santa opened the door, the wind whirled in, and Frosty was back. Santa was about to place the magic hat on Frosty's head when Professor Hinkle shouted, "I want that hat! It's mine!" Santa replied, "If you touch this hat, I'll never bring you another Christmas present again." I like Santa. He's cool. He's a close personal friend of mine. I think y'all know that. Go home right now, or I'll write. Right now? What? I'm sorry, I keep my bloopers. Go home right now and write, "I'm very sorry for what I did to Frosty 100 zillion times. And maybe, just maybe, there'll be something in your stocking tomorrow, Professor Hinkle." Professor Hinkle was very sorry indeed. He ran straight home to start writing. "Happy birthday once again," Frosty said, as they put the hat on his head. But now it was time to go home. Santa and Karen went on his sleigh, and wait a minute, I missed a line. I'm so sorry, guys. Long story short, Santa and Karen were on the sleigh, and they took Karen back home. Frosty went back to the North Pole with Santa. Karen hated to say goodbye to Frosty, but Santa said that Frosty could return every year with the magic snow. Frosty waved goodbye as he hurried on his way. He shouted a promise to return the following Christmas. And he did that. Just that way. So that was a happy ending. So now, make your own happy ending. Papa loves you all. Stay beautiful. And remember, all life is precious. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, guys. Bye.